Welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston. Join Dr. Pinkston today as she teaches you how an integrative approach to health, combining holistic and contemporary medical information, can lead you to the better life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston.
Good morning, everybody. I am here again, starting off a new week of great information in the contemporary and integrative world of medicine. And once again, I am bringing Ray Solano, a pharmacist from Austin, who is a mentor and a good friend of mine that I love and adore. And we have a great topic today, talking about something called Metabolic Code. So I'm going to turn this over to Ray and let him explain, because he is the grand authority. We have put together a great collaboration on this, and I think this is going to be incredible at changing people's lives as far as, straightening up their health and diet and exercise and all those things. Ray, please enter in. Tell me how you are this morning.
Well, Dr. Pinkston, thanks so much for inviting me again today to get the word out, and appreciate all the work that you're doing. And one of the things we want to talk about today is this interesting development in this fusion of technology with healthcare. And I think this is, if we learned one thing from the pandemic, is that technology is moving leapfrogs than it was over the pre-pandemic. So Indeed. When it is accelerating within healthcare to really make people aware where their conditions are, and to be able to make those steps to improve their health. And that's what the foundation of the Metabolic Code is understanding where your metabolic deficiencies are and where you can make those changes, because it's predicting chronic diseases. Did you ever hear of Otto Warburg?
Yes, right? Yes.
So for our audience, Otto Warburg he won the Nobel Prize in 1931 for his work on how cells metabolize food and oxygen, and most importantly, how cancer cells worked. He discovered that cancer cells really gobble up far more sugar than normal cells, and when they thrive when your metabolism is just spinning out of control. It even works when you have spikes of insulin and with excess of sugar, cancer cells reproduce like mad.
Right.
So,
and this was 1931.
1931 in Berlin. And he was a Jewish biochemist, and he's actually gay at the time, and the Nazis realized how valuable he was, because they recognized the biggest threat to their society was cancer, believe it or not. But, it comes down to excessive body fat is really caused by metabolic disorders, and excessive body fat contributes to over 600,000 cases of cancer in the U.S. alone. So when you look at that, you go, there has to be a way to measure metabolism dysfunction. Yes. And so what Dr. Jim LaValle is the one who produced this amazing program with seeing thousands and thousands of patients, and it has a unique algorithm, taking a 145 questionnaire and being able to understand the way you answer those questions is important. And then you marry it and pair it with your blood work, and it gives you a picture of your metabolic deficiencies. And most blood works today take a snapshot of where you are today, but nobody's looking at the trending. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because we both know the normal is what? This big, right?
Right. Yeah, this little reference range, which is a population average, not what medical science says you should be. Those labs, when they report, are reporting reference ranges for population averages, and the population average is skewed. It's wrong, because we're all deficient. So, yeah.
What if you're at the top end of all those categories? Well, you're still normal. And that's what everybody leaves you goes, oh, by the way, we'll see you next year.
Right.
But when you're trending normal, then you take an AI algorithm that puts all those together, puts the questionnaire together, puts the blood work together, and the way it's trending. Then you get a crystal ball of what's going on, and in being able to make it easy into 5 different categories. So what you have is a snapshot of where you're going to be. And let me tell you, I did it myself. And I thought I was in good shape. We're always the worst patients, right?
Absolutely.
Aren't we, Dr. Pinkston?
I'm about to take it, and I'm scared. So,
and so I looked at it and went, "Oh my goodness!" My eyes lit up. I says, "I'm in trouble." And Shaenfield Roberts, Dr. Roberts, is a PharmD in our pharmacy. She came up with the same thing. And so what we realize is this opens people's eyes as a report card.
And so
I realize
when patients go to the doctor, Ray, I'm so sorry, I always interrupt you, but
Sure.
when patients go to the doctor and they get their labs, they get a simple little lipid panel that's based on a Framingham equation, which is very little information. It tells you where you are right now. It doesn't really tell you where you're going. Right. Most physicians don't even check insulin levels or anything else that tells you if you are in the metabolic process of pre-diabetes, or, there's so many things that are missing in just your regular blood work. And so, what this does, what I do, and what this does is it really tailors it out and zones in on what your future risks are. You don't have to do a bunch of gene testing. We can look now and see where you are and where you are going, right? And that gives you a much better picture, right?
Very well said. That's exactly what happens. And we get a 62-page report that we give to the patient that educates them, an educated patient, that they bring it to all the practitioners, because many of your patients may have 3 or 4 specialists. And so they're going to bring this document, and they'll be able to track their progress. And they're going to bring it to you, and they say, Oh, thank you. This makes it very efficient. This is an area of concern that I can be involved with. And by the way, you've done these lifestyle changes, because diet is so critical. This is what Otto Warburg found out about sugar was the root of all these conditions. Yep. If you make some of those simple changes, and then you start on your road to recovery, so you don't end up with chronic conditions in your 70s and 80s. And I think that's what we're talking about, is quality of life later on.
Because you don't want to, you don't want to just age. You want to age well. So I don't want to live to be 80 and, and disabled for most of that. I want to live to 80, and then the stroke of lightning just hits and I'm gone, right? I want to live well. So, yeah. That's
exactly right. Dr. Lane Sebring told me this once on our radio show, Healthy Choices XM. He said most of the farmers, they'd have a testosterone levels the same as a 30-year-old, because they're out there working all the time, and they're active, and then they fall over in the field. They're 90. Okay, there was none of this
slow dying of cancer and just
they just fall over, and that was that was fine. And that's I think you're right. That's the
way to go, right? No, what we have to look at things. I was sitting in the airport recently, and this is in San Antonio, and I'm looking at the people around me. There is nobody of even remarkably close to a normal weight. We are obese, and I was 300 pounds at one time and realized, no, I can't do this, and lost 162 pounds and figured it out. And I did it honestly following a lot of things that Jim LaValle recommends. I have followed Jim LaValle for so many years in integrative medicine, he and Andrew Heyman. And I've followed a lot of what he said, and that's how I got my life back. So this is Metabolic Code. This is what he did and put it together in a plan now. So it's beautiful. We have to do something. Society is drowning.
Well, and it's not fad diets, okay?
No.
This is foundational.
Yes.
And you pinpoint and rifle shoot what is wrong for that person.
Yes.
And then when you measure, how about this? You get a report card, how you're doing. You can, and then you can redo your test 6 months, and you go, wow, I'm really doing better. Because right now it's a shotgun effect. Yeah. And they say, okay, well, stop eating, start moving, and you can't eat or drink anything. You can't have any fun.
And go to Google for your information. It's like, some doctors will tell patients, you need to lose weight and exercise. Okay, bye, I'll see you in 6 months. And so patients go to Google and they look up keto diet and they look up all these things that may not be good right for them.
That's
so
exactly
they need help. We need to sit in the chair, look them in the eye, and say, this is how you do it. Give them a handout, something that they can touch and see and feel and follow.
And when they spend an hour with you, it's an investment in their time. And I think people realize that when you get an hour of your time, you're going to teach them clues for survival. Yes. Everything that you've learned, because you spend a tremendous amount of time in continuing education. Yes. and learning over and over again. So being able to spend the time and be able to pay those professional fees, and don't worry about what your insurance is going to pay for, because you know what? This is an investment. Yes. I tell people, not is, if you want to just get disease state management, that's a whole different scenario for insurance. But really true healthcare, it's going to be an investment. And I think it's important for people to budget for that type of change, because you know what? Long-term care is very expensive. Yes. And all these pharmaceuticals are getting very exotic. Did you hear what the price tag of the monoclonal antibody for the new Alzheimer's drug is?
No. Oh my gosh.
It's $56,000 a year.
Ouch. Well, I know for rheumatoid arthritis, the medicine that I take is $3,000 a month, and that's nothing compared to that. My goodness, that's crazy. So
$56,000 a year, and all it does is possibly make things better a short period of time. I understand people with the severe dementia will do anything for it. But what we're doing is it's end stage changes. All it does is help with the beta amyloid plaques.
Right.
But
that's already developed. So if we can get ahead of that and prevent it, then we don't need that $56,000 medication.
Well, you're very smart. Maybe you should go. Maybe you should call the FDA, be on their advisory panel. I'm gonna call them right now and put you on their advisory panel.
They won't let me on. They won't let me on. I think too much. I fight too hard. I think too much. Oh my gosh, Ray, it's true. You are very, very right. So in the cost of things, and what you were discussing is, that you put in the cost right now, pennies a day is what you're looking at. I tell patients all that with hormones, which aren't always covered by insurance. Now, I take insurance, and I can do visits with insurance and some labs through insurance, but, your hormones are not covered. And they're like, oh, well, that's too expensive. I'm like, sitting there looking at their expensive cell phone sitting there and their expensive purse or whatever. And I'm not judging people, but I'm just thinking that, really what we do, the hormones, round out to about $2 to $3 a day. So what do you spend in coffee or vitamins or something else trying to make yourself feel better and put your life back together? What's $2 to $3 a day?
Oh, I agree with you. And, I know we got to take a break here shortly, and I'm going to give you my personal report of what I found out was happening with me. And again, when I share this, and we're going to do it on our television piece with We Are Austin, it'll be aired next month as well, as to what we found while I was trending when I did the Metabolic Code.
So how do patients find you and get into this? And this is a great time to bring that up, even if they want to watch the show. And how do they find you?
Well, check out our website. It's pdlabsrx.com. My name is Ray Solano. You'll see some YouTube videos I've done before as well. So pdlabsrx.com. You can go on our website and hover over the Metabolic Code on our website, and this will give you a link so that you can ask for a questionnaire. It's free. The 145 question is free for people that want to be part of it, and we'll have one of our staff get in touch with you. And if you want to do the labs for a fee as well, we'll get in contact with you to get through the program, and then we'll connect with you so that the patients can get true health care.
Absolutely.
Have amazing results.
Absolutely. It's a full feature. And you can also, I have listed your information on my website of the show. So drpbetterlife.com. And that lists all of the places where you can find the show and blogs and things like that. But I do have information on how to find you guys up there, as you guys have been so kind to sponsor me, and I truly, truly appreciate everything you guys are doing for me, for sure. So, and in that, I'll repeat that too, drpbetterlife.com. And so, yeah, when we get back on the flip side, we will reveal Ray's results and see what he got into. You know, I know that this is something I'm going to do. I will gladly admit I have not done it yet, and I'm going to. So I will share my results in the future too, because I know I've got, even though I've done so well at this point, this has been 3 years now that I've lost all this weight and done all this work. But you tend to get away from it a little bit, and so I'll be interested to see where I've landed now. And so I wanted to ask you too, Ray, real quick. We got about a minute and a half left. There's a book too, isn't there? Did Jim not write a book about metabolic code and kind of what's involved?
Well, he did. He wrote the Metabolic Code, Cracking the Metabolic Code, to really understand these supplements and how they influence different conditions. But he also wrote another book, Your Blood Never Lies.
Right.
And this is really a foundation book for how to really interpret just some simple blood tests, because the trending and the data that it uncovers when you use a microscope or a magnifying glass, it has a tremendous amount of information.
It does.
So that's a great books that Jim has put together, and he's got 21 books and ebooks.
Smartest guy I know.
And, you know, he's going to come to Texas. He's actually living in Texas now. I convinced him, and we're going to be in Central Texas, or Center of Excellence here in Austin very shortly. But, you know, we're going to be changing healthcare for people that really, like you said, want to really enjoy their life, and maybe athletes that want to get better. Right. But, you know, it's the status quo of just taking medicine and sitting in the corner.
It's over. Happen. And here comes the wave, because we're going to change things. So, all right, Ray, well, we're going to take a short break. And on the flip side, we've got a few minutes. We'll discuss those results, and we'll see you in a few.
Hi, this is Ray Solano with your Healthy Choices Minute, sponsored by Prescription Dispensing Labs. New research has concluded that implementing dietary changes could prevent gut inflammatory processes involved in some chronic diseases. Modulation of your gut microbes through diets enriched with vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and a higher intake of plant over animal foods has a potential to prevent intestinal inflammatory conditions at the core of many chronic diseases. In short, the foods we eat in our dietary patterns have a major influence on our immune system that can cause many conditions we are suffering from today. Solution: try our OptiMeal shake. Our team has developed the best tasting, healthiest shake you've ever experienced to control blood sugar and to improve your gut. Start your day today with a healthy choice. Call us today at 888-909-0110 for a free sample of the OptiMeal shake. 888-909-0110. Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
Okay, well, we are back. Ray and I are discussing Metabolic Code, and this is a way of taking a little microscope and looking at your quality of your health from the inside out, because we can't always see what's going on. We know we're not eating and doing the right things, so this really takes a close look at it. Ray was going to share his results with us, so that's it. Give it to us.
Well, you know, I took did the questionnaire, and when you do the questionnaire, please be truthful.
Please.
I kind of lied. You know, and we found out men lie about everything. Sure. You know, they lie about their health. They lie when you do the questions. Yeah. They tell you what you want to hear.
I think people are afraid they're going to be judged, maybe. Somebody's going to judge them for they're doing something wrong. It's not that.
I lied. Yeah. I lied. And I could, but you know what's so funny? You can tell when somebody's lying because the way that the questions are. And then and so anyway, I did the questions, and then I did the blood work. And the blood work came back, and I looked at it, and I really didn't understand it as well. What I was looking for. Then Jim did the consultation with me and did a tutorial, and also unlocked the secret code of what it meant. Yeah. And then I realized, he said, you know, in very good terms, you are you're fine, okay now, but you are trending in the next 10 years a pre-disease state.
Wow.
You're on your way to type 2 diabetes. You're on your way to cardiovascular disease because you're getting some plaques. And by the way, you probably will have high blood pressure. And I went, and about, it may occur 7 to 10 years from now. And then I looked at my weight, and then he said, and all the factors, I asked the questions to me again, and I realized I have a problem.
Wow.
Where I'm going to be in 10 years is going to be significant. So I realized, by the way, I had some genetic tests, and I was taking in too much saturated fat because my genes, the way I'm fortunate I had some gene tests, I was unable to metabolize more saturated fats than others.
Wow.
So I had to change my diet immediately.
Right.
I had to increase my exercise, which I thought was, I had to do
Right.
something. And then with some key supplements to control my blood sugar levels, I dropped 10 pounds.
Wow. See?
And I've never been able to do that in 15 years.
Right.
And then I listened to my body with histamine. I was drowning in histamine and realized there's certain foods and
Right.
digestion was all, my gut was all it was messed up with my eosinophils and my monocytes. So he was able to dial down and go, yep, this is your problem. And so everything unraveled from there. So health was more important. And now I don't think I'll ever go back again. So I think, again, the people that think they're healthy,
Right.
you don't know how you are until you take a report card.
It's
and this
so
is
true.
what this is.
It's so true. And that is very helpful because I do think, we think we're doing pretty well. I'll have patients who sit in front of me all the time and I'll say, you need to eat well. And they say, oh, I eat healthy. I eat good. People really are not, and they don't realize it. And we have to open that up and show people what healthy really is and what mistakes they're making. Because really, we do. We all think we're doing really, really well. We're not.
Everybody is. Nobody comes in and says, I have a horrible diet.
Right. No, nobody wants to admit it. But I don't think people really understand it. I don't think they're really, lying. I just think that they think, I eat a sandwich for lunch every day. Well, what is your sandwich made up of? How much bread is there? How many carbs? I mean, how much cheese and fat is on there? And people really don't understand that,
it's not their fault.
No, it's not their fault. The knowledge is just not there. So that's what we are here to do. We are here to build those building blocks and that knowledge, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So in the last about 2 minutes here, I want to know again if you will share with us where we can find you and get into the Metabolic Code and get this done.
Well, you can always call us. Our phone number is 888-909-0110, and we have I think a pretty good website that has a lot of our information. pdlabsrx.com has our health tips on there. We do our radio show is listed there, Healthy Choices XM, and our podcast. And also you'll see some of the TV spots that we do. But if you look under the website, pdlabsrx.com, under the Metabolic Code, you'll see the questionnaire, the request for the questionnaire, and one of our staff will send that to you. We don't charge for it.
Right.
We want people to get healthy. We really want people to make that step to that progress. If you want to do the labs, we can set you up for that for a fee as well. But we really, truly want people to take responsibility for their health.
That's a beautiful thing. So so I'm getting ready to do it. I'm going to be sharing my results too. And again, for your information, you guys can all go to drpbetterlife.com and find Ray and PD Labs on my website, and I have them there as they have been so kind to sponsor me. And then also you can find more about the other shows that I've done, the podcast and some of the blogs and things that I have. A little bit about where I am. I'm in Northwest San Antonio at 10865 Shaenfield Rd. So I'm off in the Bandera kind of Helotes area. And I am at 210-698-7825. I am taking patients. I do see patients on a regular basis. I do take insurances. I do have a very fair cash price as well. And you can also find information and reach our email for the practice at pinkstonfamilypracticesa.com. pinkstonfamilypracticesa.com, pinkstonfamilypracticesa.com, and drpbetterlife.com. So, Ray, we did it again. Always so happy to have you on. Thank you very much. And Alex, too. Tell her hi.
All right.
For all your hard work.
We want everybody to be really important to stay healthy this summer because, it may be a pause in some of the infections out there, but
right.
there's
here we go
a tremendous amount of viruses, normal viruses,
yes.
that are taking over. So it's probably people to be more vigilant on prevention than ever.
Okay. Well, we will do it, Ray. We'll talk a lot more about it. Thank you as always. Have a blessed week, everybody.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.